Hey everybody, I'm Jacob Castro and welcome to another video here on Jacob's Aquarium. Hope you guys are doing good and hope your tanks are doing good as well. I am here at Jacob's Nursery right in front of the beautiful 600, well, is it 600? I think it's 600 gallon pond. And the plants are looking amazing. I just wanted to check these out first before I get to today's project. Today I'm going to be setting up the ADA 75P, and you're probably saying to yourself, wait, what? You already had that set up? Well, yeah, I did. I had it set up at a house that I was renting with a roommate, but me and that roommate had a falling out, so I moved out, and because I moved out, I had to tear down the 75P. It sucked. It was really heartbreaking because I was really eager to watch this tank flourish, but it just didn't happen. So what I'm actually gonna do is do something pretty cool with this tank. I'm gonna set it up here at the nursery inside this beautiful greenhouse. And I'm not going to use any LED lights. I'm not going to use any fancy substrate. I'm going to use a substrate that I use for the pond, silica sand. And I'm going to use CO2. I'm going to dose nutrients, but I'm going to simply rely on the waste from the fish that I'll be having in the tank, and natural sunlight to grow the plants, and you know, the sand for the substrate. And so I think this is going to be a really cool project because it's going to really show you guys that, you know, you can have a beautiful planted tank with, you know, just sand or gravel, as long as you compensate with dosing nutrients or injecting CO2 and having plenty of waste from fish in the tank as well. It's really going to give you guys an eye-opening experience to a tank that is not so unaffordable, so expensive. You know, the tank itself is expensive, but the way I'm setting it up is pretty cheap. I mean, the sand costs 10 bucks for a 100-pound bag. The CO2 system costs maybe another 100 bucks. Natural sunlight is free. Waste from the fish is free. You have to buy the fish first, of course, though. And a little bit of nutrients is not really that expensive. You can buy bags of dry nutrients nowadays and make it yourself and save yourself a ton of money. So this is going to be a really cool project, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. First, I gotta move out all these plumerias from the corner of the greenhouse because that's where the tank is going to go. Then I have to get it out of my car, which I can't believe I fit an ADA 75P, the stand, and the piece of plywood that goes underneath the tank in my car. It's crazy, but my car is basically like a yacht on wheels. It's bigger than your average sedan, so I had plenty of space. One more thing before we get to today's project, I wanted to show you guys this plant right here. Take a look at this. Look at this. This is a species of Hygrophila, and it is growing out of the pond. It is growing immersed. Isn't that awesome? It looks so cool. And if you look closer, you can see fish swimming in and out of the stems and everything. It looks like I grabbed something out of the Amazon River and stuck it in the pond. It's so cool. But I love when the plants do this in the pond. This species of Hygrophila, which I don't remember the exact name, so I'll put on the screen right now. This species of Hygrophila grows very quickly. So if you're looking for a plant that's just going to take over your aquarium, definitely check this one out. But yeah, this one is growing immersed, and it's so cool. Look at this. Oh my God. I can't get over it when plants do that. I just absolutely love it. Okay, so let's get to today's project and set up the ADA 75P with silica sand and put some plants in there. And I'm not going to tell you what plants I'm putting in there yet because I want to save that for when the time comes in the video. I don't want to spoil the surprise just yet. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, guys. And thank you very much for watching this video here on Jacob's Aquarium.
Okay, so first and foremost, gotta put the stand in the greenhouse. And this really wasn't as difficult as it may seem. The ground in the greenhouse is pretty uneven. It's not level by any means. But because I'm using gravel as the for the floor of the greenhouse, I don't know what else to say, it makes leveling things like a stand for an aquarium very easy because you just have to move the gravel around, which is exactly what I did. And it's pretty simple. Didn't really take that long. So once the stand was level, and by the way, I leveled the stand using an app on my phone, which was pretty nifty. I put the tank on the stand, which was very heavy. I'm surprised I was able to carry it all by myself. And as you can see, the tank is a little dirty, and I will be cleaning it up. It's been in storage for a little bit, so it's accumulated some dirt and grime, but we're going to clean it up very nicely. Here you see the tank and stand fully set up and ready for some substrate. And you know, this tank to me, guys, really means a lot. So I'm going to really try to take care of it once I have it set up, because this 88 tank was like a huge milestone for me when I bought it. Like, I've always dreamed of owning an 88 tank, and now that I finally did, or now that I finally bought one, it was like a dream come true. So I'm going to really take care of this tank and make it look really nice and turn it into a beautiful planted tank like I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And things have just not worked out, but I'm hoping this time it will, because the nursery is not going anywhere, so this tank is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So I'm using silica sand for substrate, as I mentioned, and I'm just going to level it out right now. Not perfect, super perfect like they do with those, you know, real 88 tanks. Like they use like rulers and stuff to like make sure the substrate is super perfect, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to throw the sand in there and make it look as best I can. And now that we're close up, you can see kind of how dirty the tank is, which is such a disgrace to an 88 tank. You know, I really should have taken better care of it when it was in storage, but I didn't. But you'll see later in the video that I get it nice and cleaned up, and it looks pretty much back to, you know, its brand new condition. So now that I have the substrate in there, I can fill it with water. And by the way, I didn't wash the sand, which you're really supposed to do with silica sand because it is incredibly dusty. But I figured that instead of washing it, I'm just going to leave the dust and silt and whatever is in the sand in there, because I'm sure it has some form of minerals and will be beneficial to the plants. So I'm going to fill up the tank, and as I'm filling up the tank, I'm going to also drain some water out to drain out some of the you know, dust that will get into the water. But as you'll see, you know, later in the video, as long as you don't disturb the substrate, there's really no chance that the tank will become incredibly cloudy. So I'm just going to fill up the tank with water straight out of the hose. I'm not going to use any water dechlorinators or anything, by the way. I'm going to let nature do that. And when I say that, I mean, you know, in case you guys don't know, if you leave water sitting out that has chlorine in it, the chlorine will naturally evaporate after maybe 24 to 48 hours. So I don't plan on putting any fish in this tank anytime soon. So it should be fine not using any dechlorinators. And yes, I did use a clamp on an 88 tank. There is rubber padding on the clamp, so don't worry, it's not scratching the tank at all. But yeah, I'm filling up the tank with water straight from the hose. Excuse me. And as you can see, the water is a little cloudy, but that cloudiness will settle. And like I said, I'm going to be siphoning out some water, so I'll be able to siphon out most of the dustiness as well. And here you can see that I'm doing that. And you know, one of the advantages of setting up a fish tank in a greenhouse is, especially a greenhouse like the one that I have, is when you do water changes, you know, the floor is your drain. You don't have to worry about routing the water anywhere. I mean, you could, but it's really not necessary. This is something that I've really taken advantage of in the greenhouse whenever I do maintenance on the pond. If I have to dump water out, I'll just dump it right on the floor and, you know, not have any care in the world. So makes things very easy. So now I'm going to scrub the glass and clean the glass, like I mentioned earlier, because it is very dirty because the tank has been in storage for a while. And in a moment you will see something happen that I think will make you laugh. I wasn't laughing at the time, but I think you guys will be laughing right now. So let's sit back and watch. Oh, there we go. Right in the face. Here's some slow motion. Yeah, that was not planned at all, guys. And I was wearing contacts also, and sand and water got into my contacts, and it was incredibly painful. So yeah, that was not good at all. But I included that in the video because I figured it would make you guys laugh and wanted to brighten your day. So I got the CO2 system set up and the filter set up. I'm using the same stuff that I used when I first set up the tank, so there's really no need to go over all that again because you guys pretty much already know what I'm using if you watched the previous videos on the 8875P. As you can see, there's no media in the filter, but I will be buying some pretty soon. So there will be some biomedia in there to collect some beneficial bacteria. You can see the Eheim Skim 350 as well, keeping the surface of the water nice and clear. And you can see the tank is also starting to clear up as well. All that dust is now settling, and pretty soon the tank will be crystal clear. So, like I said, I really wasn't worried about not washing the sand, but of course, guys, I recommend that you do wash this sand, because if you do plan on, putting a bunch of plants, you're going to disturb the substrate a lot, and your tank will get really dusty. As far as me, I'm not really putting a ton of plants in here just yet, so I don't really have that risk, but yeah, I recommend washing it. So one of the advantages to owning an aquatic plant nursery is whenever I do set up a planted tank, I don't have to buy plants, I don't have to order them, I don't have to search high and low for them on the internet or at my local pet store. I simply just walk into the greenhouse and take them directly out of the pond. And that's what I'm doing now. And I guess the surprise is over because you guys have now seen the plants. And yes, those are dwarf aquarium lilies and tiger lotus plants. And I've always wanted to grow these plants in a planted tank. And so I figured, you know what, let's do it. It's time. So I'm grabbing a bunch of bulbs that have sprouted, as you can see, and I'm going to be planting them in the tank. And these plants are absolutely gorgeous, by the way. The tiger lotus plants have a green leaf with a bunch of speckled red colors. Sometimes they even have a pinkish tint to them. They're just really, really gorgeous plants. And so my whole goal with using these two plants is, the way they grow is they pretty much, the leaves will grow to the top of the aquarium, and they'll kind of look like a lily once they grow to the top of the aquarium. But they still grow under the water as well. But as the plant ages and the leaves get bigger, they eventually reach the top. But my whole goal with this tank is to kind of create a really interesting look using these plants, and then also a foreground plant, which you'll see in just a second. And it's this foreground plant that I'm hoping will carpet out the entire bottom of the tank, while the tiger lotus plants are growing, super, super tall vertically and kind of blocking light even. I would even not mind that, and I'm thinking that once everything grows in, you'll get this really like hidden forest vibe from this tank, because there will be shady areas in the tank, but you'll still have a carpet of a foreground plant growing in there. I think it's going to be really, really interesting, and which with all the natural sunlight that comes into the greenhouse, it's definitely going to be possible. So it was super easy to plant these tiger lotus and dwarf aquarium lily plants. You just simply stick them into the substrate. Really nothing else to say about that. But I did leave the bulbs on these plants. For those of you that don't know, you can remove the bulbs if you'd like to, and then the bulbs will sprout another plant. But I chose to leave the bulbs on because, hey, if they sprout more plants, why not, right? So here's the foreground plant I was talking about. And the foreground plant I'll be using for this tank is Micranthia Monte Carlo. And a bunch of you guys have been requesting that I grow this plant on my channel. So I figured, let's do it. It's time. I have a planted tank and I'm setting one up, so why not? So this is the plant that I'm hoping will carpet out the entire bottom of the tank and help create that hidden forest vibe. And I think it's going to look absolutely awesome once it gets growing out. So with foreground with foreground plants like this, people always find it very difficult to plant them in their aquarium. A lot of people will tie these plants to rocks or stainless steel mesh in order to make them grasp the substrate in your aquarium. But as for me, I simply just stick a portion of the plant down into the substrate, put a little substrate on top of the plant, and that pretty much anchors it down very well. It's covering some of the plant, so some portions of the plant will die, but by the time that happens, the plant will have already rooted itself and it would have already taken off. So I really don't mind a little bit of die off because I'm basically drowning the plant in substrate. I really don't care, because I'm still gonna achieve the same the goal that after, which is to get this plant to grow. So as you can see, the plants are in, and there's that Monte Carlo looking fabulous in there. You can see all those white roots off of the stems already. That plant has been growing in the pond for a while now, so it's had a chance to develop. So that's pretty much it. The plants are in, substrate in, tank is filled up with water. We got everything running. Now we just got to sit back, relax, and watch the plants grow.
Alright, so that pretty much does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited that I finally have my ADA 75P set up again. It's going to look awesome once the plants grow in. And stay tuned, because there's so many more updates to come on the ADA 75P. And don't forget that all of the plants that you've seen in this video today are available right now on my website, jacobsaquarium.com. Also, don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All my social media links are in the description below. Have fun with your tanks, everybody, and from Jacob's Nursery in beautiful Corona, California, I will see you next time. I love you guys so much. Have fun with your tanks. Bye, guys.